the reason Black Americans don't take Pan-Africanism seriously is because we've never seen it in the places where it actually makes sense. What we see, by and large, are Black immigrants who come here and preach Pan-Africanism, which makes absolutely no sense because America has 30 or 40 million Black folks. Okay. We don't have any resources. We don't control any industries. Like, literally, we have no control over natural resources in this country. We do not control anything. We have nothing to offer. This country only has jobs from white people. Meanwhile, in Africa, there are hundreds of, like close to 1 billion Black people. All the natural resources in the world that Black folks could theoretically control because you have the numbers. You can control industry. Like, why not go home and preach that? As we sit here right now, we have Ghanaians trying to kick Nigerians out of their country. Where's the Pan-Africanism? As we sit here, in 2024, there was a sister who went for a beauty pageant in South Africa. But her dad, I believe, was like Nigerian, her mother's from Mozambique. And they lost their mind because they felt like, you're not really one of us. Again, where's the Pan-Africanism? Now, again, to be fair, these are just sort of select cherry-picked examples. But you get the point. For some reason, this concept seems to only be salient here in America, where, again, we don't have the numbers and we don't have the resources. This concept would be taken much more seriously if we saw it work back there, right? Like if we saw close to 1 billion Black people rise up collectively to challenge white dominance, not to get a few jobs from white people, but to actually challenge the domination, to say we're going to control the resources collectively. Borders don't matter. We're one people. If we saw that movement, successfully, where you got the numbers, like tomorrow you could do this, this would be a concept that would make much more sense, but we don't see that. So whether it's Marcus Garvey or whomever, you see immigrants coming here and saying, let's preach Pan-Africanism. And so it's just a challenge for us because we've never seen this concept work where it makes the most sense for it to work, where it could actually work. And so from our perspective, it just sounds like you're trying to eat off my plate rather than how can we make a whole plate factory. Your best position, we're not. Yes, America has a much larger economy than all of these other countries. We don't have access to it. We're literally competing for a few jobs from white people. That's what we got. Why is that? Well, we've just never been in a really good position, right? So, yes, there was slavery in the Caribbean, but the British left, the French left. We had to live under our oppressor every single day, our very violent oppressor. And so, no, we just didn't have the opportunity to forge a new identity, right? We didn't have the opportunity to wake up and say, we're Haitians and we're one. Like, we didn't get that, right? We were literally just trying to stay alive. We didn't get that. So whether you're Haitian, whether you're Ghanaian, Nigerian, Trinity, whatever you might be, you woke up every day in a place where you were in the majority. And as a Black person from America, whose folks came out of the cotton fields, I admire that. There's a privilege in that I don't think you all recognize, a privilege to wake up every day and be in the majority. And so, yes, there's neocolonialism. Yes, there's a French indemnity on Haiti. All these things are true. But you at least have the opportunity to wake up every day in the majority on the ground and try to control your life. We could only dream of that. That is fantasy for us. It never existed. And so what I'm saying is, if you're asking why you feel resistance towards Pan-Africanism, if you're asking why American Black folks seem hesitant to buy into it, it's because where it makes the most sense, where it has the highest probability to succeed, and where there are actual prizes to be had, we don't see that movement. So no, it doesn't make a lot of sense to us. It doesn't compute. Also, the rules seem to change, right? So again, we talked about what's happening in Ghana, in every other corner of the world from our perspective. And again, we're not scholars in, Pan-African affairs. We're not scholars in world affairs. Americans are very American-centric, right? Our media, everything just revolves around us. That's just true. But at least from our perspective, what it seems like is nobody else is being asked to buy into these notions of Pan-Africanism. And so when these Ghanaians say, we really don't want these Nigerians there, they're free to just do that. We know, or at least we feel very deeply, that if we reverse this, right, if a meaningful number of Americans went to any country and started to have a meaningful presence in government, in business, and getting jobs, there would be no movement of Pan-Africanism. And that would be true universally, right? So if a meaningful number of Jamaicans went to Haiti and started getting a bunch of positions in government, when Haitian people are still struggling, they started getting jobs, there would be no movement of Pan-Africanism. Those Haitians would rise up and say, no, y'all gotta go. If Americans who were best positioned to immigrate went to these countries and started getting, to think about Karine Jean-Pierre, press secretary for Joe Biden. If an American expat got that position in any other country, would everybody be cool? Probably not, right? If a meaningful, get the word meaningful, if a meaningful number of middle-class Americans, because again, poor, uneducated people aren't moving across the world. They're not. They're not even moving across town. As a rule, certainly there are exceptions, but as a rule, if you're immigrating, it's because you have the resources and the means to do it. So educated Americans, Americans with resources, relocate, they go to other places, and they start getting jobs, they start getting opportunities, and the local population is still struggling. There's not going to be some movement to rally around to defend these American expats. If you tell me that, you're not being honest. You're just not. So it seems like the rules are just different for us than everyone else, when again, we don't even have anything to offer the world. We just got white jobs. So this makes no sense. It's difficult for us to buy into something we've just not seen, but it looks like the opportunity's there. Why is it not being seized? So if you want us to really buy in, and it sounds wonderful, it does, then let's see it work where it makes sense, where there's opportunity for it to work. Let's come together collectively there, back home, and challenge white dominance. So then it doesn't look like you're just eating off my plate and I'm being asked to sacrifice when you're not being asked to sacrifice. It looks like this is a legitimate movement to challenge white dominance, and I guarantee you we would want to be a part of that.